how many wrestling stories can you tell, brother? Are there people people out there that are fans? They really want to know what you're thinking about, you know. And people that are not fans want to know what's really going on in this guy's mind about certain things. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. If you want to, I can be truthful. If a question comes up or a topic comes up, I'm gonna give it to you the way I want to. You know, the only way I can give it to you is the way I see it, and that's the only way I know how to be. That's why. My radio show is called Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, and that slogan came from Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone used to call me that on the show, Straight Shooting Stevie Ray. So, matter of fact, I just did an interview with Tony yesterday on his show, and we talked about how he gave me that slogan, you know, and he was like, "Well, tell the radio station, you know, I need 20%, you know, off the top," and I was like. It was really funny, but, you know, hey, man, that's, you know, people want to hear interesting things. And I know I'm not one to just want to hear the same old conversation over and over like Frost, Nixon, or interview or something like that. And it's like, okay, how many times can you tell a story, behind-the-scenes story, that's pretty, you know, pretty run-of-the-mill, you know? And frankly, those are stories I've heard. I remember telling a story on my podcast one day, and I told people how Rick Rude, back in the day when he first came into, no, not when he first came in, when me and my brother first came into WCW, and we was on the road, and Rick Rude was on the same town we was on. And early in the afternoon, he would always gather us around, you know, the guys, you know, just coming in and tell us stories. And we always remembered that. And I always remembered how he always had a punchline at the end of it. It was so funny. So I figured those are the kind of stories I want to tell, like Rick Rude used to do with us. God rest his soul.
Yeah, Rick Rude. I mean, he's been brought up to, you know, our show with Shane Douglas as well. He's a guy that I think a lot of people want to hear stories about because, unfortunately, you know, he's been gone for quite a while. But, you know, and just kind of continuing with talking about other topics outside of wrestling. I mean, you look at how wrestlers with podcasts, I mean, not a dime a dozen. There's a lot, though. I mean, there's definitely there's a fair share of a genre just of wrestling podcasts hosted by wrestlers. But, you know, when you got your start kind of with the broadcasting, when you were getting in the announce booth, I got to dial it back to Tony Schiavone. Was Tony Schiavone a guy that helped you kind of transition from the ring to the headsets while you guys were still in WCW?
Yeah, he was. Him and Mike Tenay. And, you know, kind of gave me, you know, kind of sit me down and, you know, made me more comfortable at what I was doing and so on and so forth. And, you know, I tell those guys all the time, every time I see them, I owe them a lot. A lot of people don't realize, though, that's what I was going to go to school for. I wanted to be in, that's what I wanted to go into, you know, and radio, stuff like that. And as I got older, you know, I kind of lost interest in it. And because I used to DJ and stuff like that in clubs back in my younger days, things of that nature. But I kind of grew out of that, you know what I'm saying? I never thought it would all come back around years later. So here we are, you know, WCW came to me like, you know, we want you to go out and start broadcasting because I used to do the play-by-play in the dressing room, sometimes my brother and I. And we would do the play-by-play in the dressing room, and somebody got light of it, and next thing you know, I'm out there doing it in front of the people.